Thank you everyone for joining. Good evening. My name is Nikesh Jain. I'll share my presentation and then I'll start talking. So just give me 15 seconds here while I'm sharing my presentation. And I'll just confirm with somebody that my presentation is visible, and then I'll start talking. Can somebody confirm that my presentation is visible now?
Yes, visible now.
Thank you so much for confirming that. So today's topic, we have about an hour. I don't think we'll take that much time. I'll try to finish my thoughts using this presentation in, let's say, around 30 minutes. And then, of course, we'll open the floor for questions. And I think we'll try to keep it interactive. And this session is getting recorded, of course, so it is available for consumption later as well. So starting with the topic itself, from skill gaps to success, rethinking training strategies for HR leaders. I'll just break it up a little bit. Essentially speaking, any goal of any training is to fill the skill gaps, to reskill employees, upskill them, and then eventually, as an organization, achieve success. And that success could be various things, like it could be increasing revenue, it could be increasing the customer satisfaction, or it could be increasing the production, reducing the accidents, or if you are doing safety trainings and all that. So success will be different for different organization. At the same time, for the same organization, there could be like multiple ways to see the impact of those trainings, which are essentially speaking trying to build that gap. Sorry, not build the gap, fill the gap, right? Today's presentation, I'll focus on what training has been there for thousands of years, starting with Gurukuls and all that. But we'll focus on last 30 years since corporates have sort of come into the play, and the training has become more part of the organization day-to-day activities. So I'll talk about how the training, what are the challenges with the traditional models, and then where the world is going, and in the new age, new technologies, how we can change those training to achieve the same things, but in a much quicker way and much efficient way. So that's the topic. Before I start, a quick introduction. I think Priya talked about me. I'll just take a minute or so. My name is Nikesh Jain. I'm CEO and co-founder of Edurigo Technologies, which is Edurigo is an LXP learning platform, basically, right? It's an LMS, LXP learning platform, whatever you want to call it. My background, I'm a technologist. Primarily, I've been working in software for about 29 years now. I worked in US for a few years. And then since I relocated to India, it's in 2004, I've been working for primarily product companies like Oracle, SAP, Yahoo, did a couple of startups. And then I started this company around 4.5 years ago during COVID times. The story is interesting. I had kind of retired myself. I started this company to help out an NGO, to be very honest. And that's where the business picked up, and we started offering our platform to corporates. So that's my background. So let's jump into the topic today. So, as I said, L&D is a vast topic. So of course, my goal is not to cover everything, but I'll just focus on some of the challenges, which I'm sure you guys are also facing. How do we overcome those challenges? And then what's the benefit of the solution which I'm talking about? So with that, I'll just, my next button is not working. Let's see. Okay, something went wrong here, and my slide is not moving. So I think, okay. So this is the picture I wanted to show for a second. Basically, when I talk about challenges, focus on this picture. This picture is sort of talking about a chaotic environment. So L&D sometimes becomes quite chaotic, where people are not in sync. There are issues. So how do we? And if you talk about those challenges, I'm listing them here. The first and foremost challenge is rigid training learning models. So the traditional models are typically the classroom trainings. It's basically trying to fit everybody in the same model. One size fits all training methods. So this is like, you're inviting, I'll take an example, like simple training, the POSH training. Now, POSH training for end users like employees, you might want to share some different information. For managers, you might want to share different information. For leaders, you might want to share different information. And same goes for every single training. Like every role, every person has a different role in the organization. And from the same training, they expect different things. But the traditional model basically does not consider that. And then we sort of get everybody in the same classroom and they all have to go through everything. And for some people, it may not be very relevant as well. The second challenge with the traditional model is what I'm calling here poor measurability and insights. So training once done, how do we, let's say we have 40 people in a room, they came, they attended a two hours program, a training session from a internal instructor or external instructor. अभी हम उसको measure कैसे करेंगे कि इस training का impact क्या रहा है, right? It's very difficult. People have sort of attended, they've gone back to their work, but we don't know whether their skill was improved or not, or whether they learned anything or not. It's the best, we can take feedback, people will say, yes, we understood this, but there is no methodical way to measure the impact. And according to me, this becomes a huge problem for all L&D professionals I've been talking to. होता क्या है कि the management basically says, well, we want to spend money, but we don't know whether ये जो money spend किया इसका क्या impact है. So how it is impacting the business. So this is one challenge every L&D organization faces. So L&D becomes a cost center. And what I am proposing that L&D should become more strategic rather than being a cost center. So as an L&D professional, I should be able to talk to my management with a lot of confidence, and in a very methodical way, I should be able to prove that 100 rupees spent has brought in 200 rupees or 400 rupees or 1,000 rupees to the organization. That mathematics, I'll talk about it later, but if I'm able to talk in that language, I think no management will never ever say no to any training. So that's where I'm calling it like it has to be strategic. So the second point, how can we improve the measurability on KPIs, whatever KPIs we are trying to measure. Skill is definitely one of the KPIs we always try to improve. Third point, and this is also very critical, like we are talking about scalability of training programs. So when I say scalability, let's talk about the org structures, today's org structure, especially after COVID, or in general, the modern org structure. People are working from different locations. If you have factories, those factories could be in multiple locations. If you have offices, those offices could be in multiple locations. And if you have pan-India operation, you have people working from different places. Even if you don't have pan-India operations, you might have moving workforce. So your business development people, the sales people, you don't want them to sit in office. Of course, they should be roaming around, talking to customers, getting the business. So getting all these people in one room, that's a challenge, big challenge, and that's costly as well. So, let's say you are a Delhi-based organization. I'm just taking an example. And then you have people in Ludhiana as well. You have people in Bangalore as well. You have people in a place like Indore, Ahmedabad, and new people have joined. How do you do your onboarding? You cannot get all of them to one location, or you cannot have a trainer going to multiple locations. So it's all possible. It is being done today, but that is costly. And that's my next point. So if you do that, there are a couple of disadvantages of that approach. Either you are traveling people, or you are traveling your trainers to different location. The impact of 0.3 is 0.4. Your training cost is going up. The classroom-based training requires travel, a lot of printed material. If you're taking a venue, which could be a hotel, conference room, it is expensive. And then of course the instructor fee, right? Whether instructor is internal or external, I'm just consolidating that in one bucket, like there is a cost to it. So I'm just combining point 3 and 4, that the traditional model cannot be scaled. And when I say scale, I'm not talking mostly on the cost. There are other disadvantages as well, because I think I have covered that point. So let me just move to that. So I'm the point number 3, slow knowledge sharing and updates. If your program, when I say your programs are not scalable in the traditional model, basically they are impacting two things. They're causing two problems. One is higher training costs. We just talked about that. Second is slow knowledge sharing and updates. What happens? Things are changing in this current world, where things are changing at the rapid pace. If you are building a product, the product is changing very fast, because the world has become such that you are constantly updating the information. Rules and regulations are changing very quickly. I'll give you an example. RBI, let's say आप एक फिनटेक कंपनी है, उस फिनटेक कंपनी में आपके जितने भी सेल्स के लोग हैं जो जाके लोन्स को ऑफर कर रहे हैं लोगों को, and suddenly the RBI, and let's say you are 3,000 people, pan India operations, right? Suddenly RBI comes up with a new circular, and RBI says, well, this is how you should collect the Aadhaar card. And if you don't do that, it's non-compliant, and there could be penalty. Now, RBI will just come one day, and that rule is applicable within like a week or so, or immediately in cases, if it's something urgent from RBI side. How do you make sure that all those 3,000 people are aware of this new change? Of course, you will have to train them. You will have to conduct a training program. Now, those 3,000 people are roaming around in different locations. By the time you cover that information, by the time you teach every single one how to collect Aadhaar, it's already late perhaps. 7 days में बहुत मुश्किल रहेगा उन सभी को उसी इंटेंसिटी के साथ ये नॉलेज देना. और आप कह सकते हैं कि एक सिंपल ईमेल भेजा सकता है. I'm talking about a little bit complex structure where you have to get people in a classroom, or at least for 30-45 minutes you have to talk to them. That something cannot be covered in an email or a WhatsApp message, right? So that's the 5th point, slow knowledge sharing and updates. In traditional setups, new knowledge and best practices take longer to reach to your end users or participants or the employees, right? Moving to the next point. And then again, this is also related. I just took this RBI example. Suddenly you are non-compliant because, and this is, I have a story here. I'll just share that anecdote. I won't name the company, of course. They were collecting Aadhaar cards, and they were collecting PAN cards also. This business development people, before you sort of get into any financial transaction, you were supposed to collect Aadhaar card and PAN card. Now, first thing, the PAN card was not necessary to collect as per RBI. They collected it. Second thing, the PAN card, when you collect, then you're supposed to manage it in a certain way. आप कुछ प्रोसेस हैं उसके कि आप पैन कार्ड को ईमेल पे कभी नहीं डाल सकते आप. That's non-compliance, right? Now, this company's employees made that mistake because for whatever reason, like training was not done, or they were not aware of this new rule, for example. So this might cause some penalty as well. It's non-compliant, right? So compliance training becomes very important. And once again, in the traditional method, keeping up with compliance training manually can lead to errors or missed deadlines. So I gave you an example, RBI example again, like if the information changes, आप कैसे how will you make sure कि ये information सभी लोगों को एक साथ pass on हो गई है, and everybody from the next day is complying, right? So these are the few challenges. Let's just continue. I think I have some more point. So L&D challenges, I have like 3 or 4 more points, and I'm building my case in these challenges. I might have missed few things, but these are like a major bucket. The next is like fragmented learning paths. So in some organizations, the data, the learning material is there very much. PPTs of the world, videos, whatever it is, like those things are there, but that information is fragmented. And in some cases, like, you have an instructor was there in the office. They conducted a training. The training was recorded, and then your videos available. But this entire information is spread across multiple sources, and these sources are not integrated with each other. So again, the information is there, but it is not easily accessible to people in a very seamless way. Let's put it that way. So that's one challenge, the traditional model. And then, traditional model, again, it does not, the trainings are typically become very boring. Of course, they become very instructor dependent. And the training, of course, compliance trainings are a little dry anyways. So they become very instructor dependent. Learners may lose interest. They are sitting in the class, but they are still not learning. There is no interaction. There is no motivation. Learners don't know what's there in for them in their training, how it will benefit them, how it will benefit their career. So उन्हें पता ही नहीं है कि ये ट्रेनिंग करके मेरा क्या फायदा है, right? So in general, low engagement, and then knowledge का retention भी बहुत कम होता है. आपने एक ट्रेनिंग दी, मैं ट्रेनिंग लेके निकला, 15 दिन के अंदर जो मुझे सिखाया गया था मैं भूल जाऊंगा, because there are no follow-ups. So it's a scientific way of doing things. Like, when you train people, you have to sort of reinforce the training. You have to send refreshers. उनको refreshers के लिए आपको कॉल करना पड़ेगा, या आपको वापस से वो इन्फॉर्मेशन भेजना पड़ेगी, जिससे कि वो सॉर्ट ऑफ उनके डीएनए में चला जाए, जो भी रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन है, जो भी उन्हें ट्रेन किया गया है. सो लो एंगेजमेंट एंड लो रिटेंशन इज अनदर चैलेंज ऑफ L&D. Now this one is very critical. I think this is like that one size fits all. This is the same point. If you have invited everybody to classroom training, you are trying to sort of fit everybody into one sort of delivery mechanism. So the traditional model don't give you, they have limited ability to tailor learning content to individual goals, roles, and skill gaps. What I'm trying to say here, every individual has different aspirations. My role could be different. My skill gap could be different from the other person, but I am being trained in the same way. Now, I will get trained, but it may not be very impactful for me. First thing, my goals are different. And if the training is not aligning to my goals, I may not be interested. My roles could be different. We talked about that. For POSH for managers, POSH for employees could be different. So that training, if you try to give POSH training, which is meant for managers to individuals, they may not enjoy that, and it is just waste of time for them. One example. And then second thing, in a 40 people classroom, different people have different skill set. They are not at the same level. So and this is typical to our school classrooms as well. Our children, our kids. I mean, a teacher has to make sure, a trainer has to make sure that he or she is reaching to every single skill gap. That's the only way it will be impactful. So again, the point is lack of personalization in the traditional model. And then this is the obvious one, which is like a result of everything else we just talked about, low completion rates. So learners, sometimes they can't travel, they may not be able to attend a particular classroom. Even if you've given them some digital content to watch, you don't know whether they have finished that training or not. There's no easy way to sort of assess people. So you don't even know whether they have completed and they've really acquired the knowledge which was meant to be given by the training, right? So that's another point. And I think last point on this slide is when all these things are happening, employee turnover and attrition. So onboarding is the best example. A lot of places I have learned, especially where the employee workforce is millennial or Gen Z. I mean, the young guys, they come on board, and 30 to 40% of people quit within 15 days or 30 days because the onboarding was not effective, and then basically they are basically not aligned with the corporate goals, and they figure that out very quickly, and the training basically is not taking care of that. So employee turnover and attrition is the another side effect of traditional models of training. I can take a couple of questions here. I talked about first part of my presentation where I'm talking about challenges. If I missed out something, if anybody wants to call out, please do that. If you have any questions or any one of these, please feel free to ask. आप में से कोई भी कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहते हैं तो प्लीज फील फ्री, और एनी कमेंट्स आल्सो वेलकम, प्लीज. Anybody? Priya, are we doing good on the time?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. So if no questions, I'll move forward. So I just talked about the first leg of the first part of my presentation, which is focusing on all the challenges in the traditional model. So obviously now the second part I'll talk about what's the solution, right? So let's focus on that. Actually, sorry, there was one more point. Okay, this is the most important. Actually, sorry, I missed that. Negative impact on business performance, right? Now this I can talk about for 15 minutes. There are so many things which can go wrong if training is not done properly. In a factory, accidents can happen. Compliance we already talked about. People may not treat PII data, or data privacy can be breached if the training is not done properly. Of course, if your sales team, for example, if they are not trained properly about the product or how to talk to customers, how to approach customers, they won't be able to do sales, right? And then your engineers, your factory workers, if they are not taught properly how to operate a particular machine, or how in software, how to write code, and what is the domain knowledge and all that, they won't be able to produce things very quickly. So productivity will get impacted. And everything, whatever I talked about, it has impact on money, which is revenue. In some cases, it could be penalty. In some cases, it could be lost opportunity, right? I'll give an example here, negative impact on business performance. And this is my personal example. I used to work with a startup. I was vice president engineering there. We were building a product, enterprise level software product. And that product was moving very fast. We were developing features, capabilities very quickly because it was a startup. Now, one day, one of my directors came to me, and then he did not know, he was a sales director. So he was in a deal, and he did not know about some fundamental capabilities which were there in our product. And he came to me and he asked, Nikesh, do we have these capabilities? Because I'm trying to close a deal. There's a competition there, and the competitor has those. And I was surprised because we had those capabilities for some time, and my sales team did not even know about that. Now, this is a clear loss of opportunity. I don't know what happened to the deal, honestly, but the moment a sales guy tells the potential customer, a prospect, that I'll get back, I don't know. If the prospect asks a question and the sales guy says, I don't know, I'll get back, I think, the prospect in their mind, they take some brownie points from that guy because they lose interest, and then you can easily lose the deal. So the important thing, your salespeople have to be up to speed about the product, all the capabilities of the product. And that's a direct impact on revenue, for example, right? So these are all the challenges. Let's move to the next slide, section rather, which is where we'll discuss some of the possible solutions, right? So what's the solution? Now, to tackle all this problem, whatever we talked about, the distributed workforce, fast-paced environment, and other stuff which we talked about, these problems cannot be solved using traditional methods. No way. So आपको कुछ ना कुछ automation करना पड़ेगा. Again, and I'm taking an example here because you are already using Opportune, which is an HRMS. आपकी attendance आज Opportune में हो रही है या HRMS में हो रही है. मैंने जब अपना career start किया था, I started working with a software company based in Mumbai only, 𝗙𝗵𝗵𝗀, called Patni Computer Systems, 29 years ago, 96. Software company, which was like well known in Mumbai. Today it is acquired by a big company. So that company doesn't exist anymore. जब मैं morning में पहुंचता था, मेरी attendance मुझे register पे mark करना पड़ती थी. I still remember that. मेरा पूरा attendance जो रहता था, मैं sign करता था वहां पे, और शाम को जब मैं निकलता था वहां से तो मैं चेकआउट करता था, उसी रजिस्टर पे उसके आगे चेकआउट का टाइम डालता था। एचआर जाएगा, वो रजिस्टर को उठाएगा मंथ एंड में, और वो रजिस्टर से एक एक बंदे की उस दिन की अटेंडेंस चेक करेगा। कैन यू थिंक अबाउट डूइंग दैट टुडे? आई एम श्योर you will probably laugh at it today if you have to do something like that today. How much time you are wasting? अगर मैंने छुट्टियां ली हैं, वो छुट्टियों को हिसाब ही नहीं है उसमें। कई बार वो एक्स्ट्रा छुट्टी मांग लेते थे, कभी मैं कहीं और गया हूँ, उन्होंने छुट्टी कंसिडर कर ली और फिर मुझे उन्हें याद दिलाना पड़ता था कि भाई मैं कॉन्फ्रेंस में गया था, शाम को लेट आया था एंड ऑल दैट, राइट? सो वो कितना ऑब्वियस है कि अटेंडेंस कैन नॉट बी टेकन ऑन रजिस्टर एनीमोर. सो नाउ यू हैव all kind of biometric, all kind of batches. You can take attendance using the thumb of that person. So all those things are there. Attendance are taken automatically. In my last job, basically, I would get a email every month end, or was it every day? I don't know. उसमें पूरा attendance मेरे 300 लोगों का attendance रहता था. Of course, I wouldn't check that, but the point I'm trying to make, it's all automated. So automation is the solution to this problem to a large extent. So I'm not suggesting that automation will solve everything. There's a cultural aspect also. We'll talk about that. But without technology, this problem is very difficult to be solved, or next to impossible. So learning automation by implementing an LMS or LXP. So now I've used two terms, LMS and LXP. If you're already familiar, just pardon me, because there could be somebody who is watching this may not be familiar, or who is listening to this. So I'll just spend some time on the definition. So what is a learning management system, or in short, LMS? So LMS is a digital tool, obviously, like what you have an HRMS, that helps organization deliver, track, and manage training programs for their employees. So essentially speaking, it's a platform like your HRMS platform. And then on top of that platform, you can upload, you can provide all your training in a very structured way. You can create courses and whatever the delivery mechanism you offer. And these training programs can be assigned to people based on their roles, based on their departments, based on their experience, or based on their skill gaps and everything. All those things are sort of automatically, at least there are ways where you can take care of those things. And those courses or learning content is assigned to those people, that is delivered. And then you can track it, whether somebody has finished it or not. Basically, you can manage your training programs. Let me just see. Yeah, so I think I double click that. So sort of, again, just sort of definition. And if you don't understand difference between LMS and LXP, don't worry about it. More or less, it's same. LMS is more of a traditional LMS. LXP is more of a new age learning experience platform. That X stands for experience. So you're trying to, there's a lot of AI, artificial intelligence. We have all heard about all the AI buzz which is going on the market, generative AI. So the LXPs are taking advantage of that. And I'll touch base on that in a little bit. But for this discussion, LMS and LXP, I think we'll use them as a synonym. Now, again, getting into this, what is LMS? So imagine a virtual classroom, like what we are doing right now. Your employee can access a course. They can access training courses anytime, from anywhere. They can use their mobile. They can use their mobile, or they can use their web. And they can access same thing like this training which I'm doing right now, this presentation which I'm doing right now. It will get recorded and it will be available on YouTube, or on my system, or opportune system where you will be able to access it, or on LinkedIn, right? So something similar. So just imagine a course. Course is more of a structured thing, like it will have combination of multiple things, and then it will have feedback also, it will have quizzes also, assessment and all that, right? So people can, in this courses, people can watch videos, they can access any documents. So document could be a marketing material, or any document. It could be a PDF, PPT. They can take quizzes. So that's another important thing. How to make sure that people have learned. You can create quizzes. Quizzes are basically a collection of questions, and then you can judge people, you can assess people, and then you can ask them to do assignments. So simple ways like, you're done sales training. It could be in the classroom also, by the way, right? So that's blended learning. Like, there's an instructor, sales instructor, who is teaching people how to do a sales pitch. Now, how do I assess whether this person has really learned the technique or not? So you can give them an assignment that, open your mobile. Everybody has mobile these days. So open your mobile and just record your sales pitch and upload it and submit that assignment. So that recording, the sales pitch basically recorded by the salesperson, it will go to the sales trainer, and he or she can basically just watch it and then give feedback to the salesperson that, you've done well, or, you can improve upon this and all that, right? So suddenly that assignment is also automated. So those are the possibilities when you implement an LMS. And then every LMS will have, ways to send reminders using different channels. They can send push notification on mobile. They can send email reminders. They can send messages on WhatsApp that, hey, this course was assigned to you. You haven't finished it. The due date is coming, and people are reminded. Of course, no, there's no guarantee that people will not ignore those reminders, but at least no system is sending some nudges. And there are other ways to make sure that, the managers have full control over that, whether their people are finishing those trainings or not, right? So you can basically, if you have an LMS is essentially speaking, talking to people by sending reminders for pending training or upcoming training. And of course, the certificates are automatically generated. So that's another, if you give certificates to people, people can just download those certificates, and, that they can take it home, in the sense like, they can just print it and display it on their desk. They can show it off. They can post it on LinkedIn, and all those things can be done. And that certificate basically becomes part of their resume. So they also know that if company has given them a training, that training is helping them in their career as well, because now they are carrying a certificate, right? A certificate is just one aspect to motivate people. There are many, many things we can do if you are using LMS, right? So I think in the solution part, I have a section which is talking about managers also. So LMS will send a lot of reminders. We talked about that. Your managers and your HR team, it makes their life much easier. As a manager, I can assign various trainings to my employees, because I am the best judge what an employee needs as a training. Either I can nominate him or her, or I can, if I have control, if my organization gives me control as a manager, I can say to one of the employees that you should do this communication training. Communication course is already there. Or if there is a communication program which is launched by L&D, as a manager, when I come to know about it, I can just log into the system, that LMS, and I can nominate members in my team to that program, right? And HR or L&D department or managers can track who has completed which course and all that. That's very easy. All that information is highly visible. You also know if somebody has completed 50%, somebody has completed 70% and all that. So you kind of know where your organization stands, and then you can take corrective actions, right? And then eventually a lot of reporting can be generated to see the learning progress. More than reporting, I think, LMS gives you ability to analyze the data. I'll give you a simple example. आपने एक blended program चल रहा है classroom में, जैसे अभी हम लोग कर रहे हैं, और अभी के अभी let's say there are 40 people, and I'm trying to sort of I'm trying to uplift or 4 or 5 skills. 4 or 5 बहुत ज्यादा हो जाती है, let's say 3 skills, right? पूरा दिन का प्रोग्राम है और मैं 3 स्किल्स कम्युनिकेशन के अम्ब्रेला में 3 स्किल्स आई एम ट्राइंग टू टीच. सो मैंने 5 घंटे का प्रोग्राम लिया, एंड टुवर्ड्स द एंड आई कैन जस्ट गिव माय पार्टिसिपेंट्स अ 30 क्वेश्चन क्विज. ओके, पहले 10 क्वेश्चन एक स्किल को मेजर कर रहे हैं, दूसरे 10 क्वेश्चन दूसरी स्किल को मेजर कर रहे हैं, तीसरे 10 क्वेश्चन तीसरी स्किल को मेजर कर रहे हैं. ओके, दिस 40 पीपल विल टेक दैट क्विज right in front of the trainer in the classroom itself, on their mobile or laptop or whatever, and immediately trainer को वो पूरा result जो है उस quiz का, let's say 15 मिनट की quiz थी या 20 मिनट की quiz थी, after 20 minutes जब सब लोगों ने वो quiz ले ली है, आपका ट्रेनर उस डेटा को एनालाइज कर पाएगा कि पहले स्किल्स पे जो पहले 10 क्वेश्चंस थे उन पे मेरा स्कोर कैसा है, मेरे ग्रुप का स्कोर कैसा है, दूसरे पे कैसा है, तीसरे पे कैसा है। अगर मुझे लगता है कि पहले 10 क्वेश्चंस में 80% एक्यूरेसी लेवल है, 80% लोगों ने करेक्ट आंसर दी है, तीसरे में 75 था, लेकिन जो बीच वाला है, दूसरा सेक्शन था, एक पर्टिकुलर स्किल, उसमें मेरा स्कोर 40% आ रहा है। इसका क्या मतलब हुआ, जो 3 स्किल में सिखाने की कोशिश कर रहा था, उसमें जो बीच वाली स्किल थी, स्किल नंबर सेकंड, जिसमें मेरा 40% स्कोर है, वहां पे लोगों को, मेरे पार्टिसिपेंट्स को कुछ ना कुछ समझ में नहीं आया है, और वो स्किल ठीक से नहीं हो पाई है डेवलप। योर ट्रेनर कैन टेक सम करेक्टिव एक्शन राइट। नाउ जस्ट इमेजिन दिस विदाउट एलएमएस। अगर आपने वही 30 क्वेश्चंस एक फॉर्म में लिए होते या कुछ पेपर पे लिए होते, यू कांट इवन डू एनी एनालिटिक्स ऑन दैट, बट एलएमएस गिव्स यू दैट विजिबिलिटी right there. And now I'm just building it up. Now imagine this पूरा, ये जो पूरा डेटा था, ये पूरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को एक कंप्लायंस ट्रेनिंग थी, उसके तहत दिया गया था। लेट्स से 1000 पीपल की ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, मल्टीपल लोकेशंस, एज एन एचआर सेम डेटा मुझे 1000 लोगों का अवेलेबल हो जाएगा इमीडिएटली, अगर उन 1000 लोगों ने वो क्विज लिया है तो। सो आई नो व्हाट टू डू, राइट। एंड द अदर वेज लाइक अगर ट्रेनिंग के बाद मैनेजर आता है, सॉरी, ट्रेनिंग के बाद मेरी टीम के पार्टिसिपेंट्स आते हैं, लेट्स से मैंने अपनी टीम में 3 लोगों को कम्युनिकेशन ट्रेनिंग के लिए भेजा है, और वो 3 लोग ट्रेनिंग करके आते हैं एज अ मैनेजर, आई कैन ऑब्जर्व देम फॉर सम टाइम एंड आई कैन से वेल, आपको मैंने इस कम्युनिकेशन स्किल के लिए भेजा था, आपका कम्युनिकेशन अभी भी आपकी जो स्किल है कम्युनिकेशन, ये अभी भी ठीक नहीं है, सो आई कैन रेट हिम। सो अगेन एलएमएस में वो करा जा सकता है, और वो डेटा बेसिकली आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के स्किल मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम में, जो एलएमएस में ही रहेगा, उसमें आ जाएगा, और आपको आइडिया रहेगा कि आपकी टीम में कितने लोगों का क्या स्किल है। सो पूरा स्किल मैनेजमेंट आपका पूरा सिस्टम में है, एंड यू आर एबल टू सॉर्ट ऑफ कीप एन आई ऑन दैट। So LMS sort of becomes one-stop platform, almost like your Netflix or Amazon Video. People are just watching it. Only difference, Netflix में आपको यही पता लगता है इस बंदे ने पिक्चर देख ली है कि नहीं देखी है, मूवी देखी कि नहीं देखी है, लेकिन यहाँ पे आपको इसके अलावा भी बहुत कुछ मालूम चलेगा। So again, just to repeat my point, learning automation is the solution to solve this problem. Now, I think I'm taking more time. I'm just checking time, it's 4:45 already. So I think I need to move fast a little bit. So on the next screen, I'm talking about, what are the benefits on LMS? And I'll be a little quick here because we have to leave some time for questions as well. So the first obvious advantage is reducing training cost. Okay. जो LXP है आज के, वो आपका जो content है, that can be automatically created using a prompt. जैसे चैट जीपीटी पे आप लोग बात करते हैं आज, आप एलएमएस को बोल सकते हैं, कैन यू क्रिएट मी अ कोर्स ऑन ईमेल एटिकेट्स, और आपका कोई सा भी एरिया हो, केवल एक प्रॉम्प्ट देके आप कंटेंट क्रिएट कर सकते हैं। आज की तारीख में आप वीडियो क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, एंड दिस इज वेरी नाइस कंटेंट। टेक्नोलॉजी has become so powerful now. केवल एक प्रॉम्प्ट से आप कंटेंट क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, और उसमें क्वेश्चंस भी होंगे, तो एक कोर्स क्रिएट हो गया आपका within like no time, literally 5 minutes that content is ready. अगर आपको कुछ मॉडिफिकेशन करना है तो कीजिए, नहीं तो लॉन्च कर दीजिए उसे, राइट। सो दैट लाइक ऑटोमेटेड कंटेंट ऑथरिंग। सो उससे क्या होगा, जो आपकी कंटेंट ऑथरिंग कॉस्ट है वो काफी कम होगी, क्योंकि आपका टाइम कम हो गया है। सेम कोर्स आप किसी थर्ड पार्टी के पास जाएंगे बनवाने के लिए, दे विल चार्ज यू बॉम्ब like easily 2 lakhs for a course which can be created in like literally 5 minutes now, more or less same quality, more or less. Translation, आज की इंडिया में इतनी सारी लैंग्वेजेस हैं, सेम इंफॉर्मेशन हमें हिंदी में भी चाहिए, मराठी में भी चाहिए, तमिल में भी चाहिए, कैसे करेंगे? आप किसी ट्रांसलेटर को हायर करेंगे या कहीं बाहर भेजेंगे, इट विल कॉस्ट यू लॉट ऑफ मनी। हियर एक पीडीएफ को अपलोड कीजिए, उससे बोलिए मराठी में कन्वर्ट कर दीजिए, विद इन 5 मिनट्स इट विल गेट कन्वर्टेड टू मराठी और एनी लैंग्वेज ऑफ योर चॉइस। द अदर थिंग्स, आपके जो मटेरियल पड़े हुए पीडीएफ, सिंपल एग्जांपल, आपका कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट मटेरियल है, आपकी पॉलिसी डॉक्यूमेंट है, वो पॉलिसी डॉक्यूमेंट आप ऑनबोर्डिंग के वक्त लोगों को पढ़ने देते हैं। इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू रीड 20 पेज डॉक्यूमेंट फॉर एनीबॉडी, बट आप वो डॉक्यूमेंट अपलोड कीजिए एलएमएस में, वो आपको एक बढ़िया सा समराइज कोर्स बनाकर दे देगा। और उस कोर्स के आखिरी में आप डाल दीजिए उस डॉक्यूमेंट का लिंक, फॉर मोर इन्फॉर्मेशन रीड दिस डॉक्यूमेंट। बट जो समरी इन्फॉर्मेशन है, जो पॉलिसी की मोटी मोटी चीजें हैं, वो आपके एम्प्लॉयज को तुरंत समझ में आ गई। तो यू कैन कन्वर्ट योर पीडीएफ्स एंड पीपीटीज और वर्ड डॉक्यूमेंट्स इनटू नाइस इंटरेक्टिव कोर्सेस। दैट्स फर्स्ट एडवांटेज। आपकी ट्रेनिंग आप स्केल कर पा रहे हैं, क्योंकि अब आपको किसी भी आपके आपने कोर्स तैयार कर दिया, एंड एवरीबडी इज एबल टू अटेंड और सॉर्ट ऑफ टेक दैट कोर्स फ्रॉम एनीवेयर। सो आपके पार्टिसिपेंट्स ट्रेनिंग की जगह पे नहीं आ रहे हैं, एक्चुअली जो ट्रेनिंग मटेरियल है वो पार्टिसिपेंट्स को ट्रैवल होकर जा रहा है थ्रू देयर मोबाइल एंड थ्रू देयर वेब इंटरफेस, लैपटॉप्स एंड ऑल दैट, राइट। सो आपकी ट्रेनिंग की कॉस्ट भी कम हो गई है, और आप मोर इंपॉर्टेंटली आप स्केल कर पा रहे हैं। वही सेम आरबीआई का एग्जांपल, कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन चेंज हुआ, आपने एक छोटा सा कोर्स बनाया and you assign it to 1,000 people who are in different locations, and it's a mandatory training and they know, उनको रिमाइंडर चला गया है कि उन्हें वो ट्रेनिंग लेने ही लेना है। आपको केवल इतना फॉलो अप करना है कि सबने वो ट्रेनिंग कर ली है, आपका ऑडिट भी क्लियर हो गया, राइट। सो स्केलिंग इज वेरी इजी। एंड एफिशिएंट ट्रेनिंग ट्रैकिंग एंड मेजरमेंट, वी टॉक्ड अबाउट दैट, कि आप ट्रेनिंग का कंप्लीशन तो मेजर कर ही सकते हैं, कितना टाइम स्पेंड किया लोगों ने वो मेजर कर दो, सिंपल थिंग्स। मोर इंपॉर्टेंटली आपका स्किल पे क्या इम्पैक्ट पड़ा है, आपकी स्किल्स इंप्रूव हुई कि नहीं, दैट्स द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट केपीआई वी वांट टू मेजर। एंड देन इवेंचुअली दैट स्किल, वो स्किल पे मेरे रेवेन्यू का क्या इम्पैक्ट है। सो दैट्स अगेन समथिंग इजी टू मेजर नाउ। एक्सेलरेटिंग नॉलेज शेयरिंग एंड अपडेट्स, सो अगेन सेम आरबीआई एग्जांपल, एक सर्कुलर आया, मैंने ट्रेनिंग बनाई और लोगों को असाइन किया। सो वो जो इन्फॉर्मेशन थी वो 3 महीने की जगह इमीडिएटली लोगों के पहुंच गई है, और लोगों ने उसे एक्सेस कर पा रहे हैं। सो आपका जो इन्फॉर्मेशन फ्लो है वो बहुत क्विक हो गया है, right? So which will help you in compliance, obviously. So which will help you in compliance, correct? So that's the advantage of LMS. So I have just 2 more points, then we'll stop it, and I'll open it for questions. So one thing, we all face, like there is a resistance to change. So ये argument मैंने बहुत जगह सुना है कि काफी ट्रेडिशनल, क्योंकि हम सभी लोग ट्रेडिशनल से इतना यूज टू हो चुके हैं, देयर इज ऑल, व्हेनेवर यू वांट टू ब्रिंग अ चेंज, वो एडॉप्शन नहीं हो पाता है। सो एलएमएस ने भी उसको सॉल्व करने के लिए छोटे छोटे तरीके देके रखे हैं। पहली चीज, एलएमएस इज सॉर्ट ऑफ, इट्स नॉट अ बोरिंग प्लेस, इट्स अ फन एक्टिविटी, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ फन थिंग्स कैन हैपन देयर, reward points, gamification, and all those things can be done, and then system in sending reminders. So slowly you can bring that change. See, any change, it's difficult to bring in, but ultimately, if we don't change, we will lag behind as an organization. सो आपको वो चेंज लाना पड़ेगा, लोगों को आपको रिवॉर्ड्स वगैरह लाने पड़ेंगे। सो वो सब चीजें एलएमएस में पॉसिबल है। सिंपल थिंग, आप अनाउंस कर सकते हैं कि हर महीने का विनर कौन है, सबसे ज्यादा लर्निंग किसकी हो रही है, एंड देन यू कैन वे स्मॉल प्राइज फॉर दैट पर्सन। सो रिकॉग्निशन भी है, रिवॉर्ड भी है। सो वो एलएमएस में वो सब चीजें काफी ईजी हो जाती हैं। पर्सनलाइजिंग लर्निंग जर्नीज, सो ये बहुत ईजी है। ऑफकोर्स एआई के थ्रू, क्योंकि एलएमएस को मेरे बारे में सब कुछ मालूम है, मैं एज एन एम्प्लॉय, एलएमएस नोस कि मेरा स्किल सेट कैसा है, मेरा रोल कैसा है, मेरा मैनेजर कौन है, मेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज क्या है। सो वो सब चीजें ध्यान रख के एलएमएस कैन क्रिएट पर्सनलाइज लर्निंग जर्नीज फॉर मी। इट कैन रिकमेंड मी कि निकेश, आपकी स्किल गैप्स ये हैं, आपको ये कोर्स करना चाहिए, रिकमेंडेशन। सो ये हर चीज बहुत पर्सनलाइज हो जाती है। सो अगर मैं एम्प्लॉय हूँ, सो निकेश आपको ये पॉश करना पड़ेगा, ये पॉश एम्प्लॉयज के लिए। निकेश, यू आर अ मैनेजर, देन यू शुड डू दिस पॉश व्हिच इज फॉर मैनेजर्स। एंड ऑफ कोर्स आपका डिजिटल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे भी इंप्रूवमेंट रहेगा। आप एलएमएस को इम्प्लीमेंट करना बहुत ईजी है आजकल। आप कोई भी क्लाउड बेस्ड एलएमएस ले लीजिए, उसमें केवल आपको अपने यूजर्स अपलोड करना है, थोड़ी सी ट्रेनिंग अपलोड करना है, एंड देन यू आर अप एंड रनिंग। It is no more a month's job. It is literally now days job. 2 या 3 दिन में you can just upload your content and you're up and running, and then slowly you can upload more and more content, and जैसे जैसे लोग बाग आ रहे हैं वो आपका ट्रेनिंग लेते जाएंगे। So and modern workforce, everybody like millennials, and then Gen Z, they are all using WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, and all that. Now they can't sit in a training room. So you have to sort of become like them. So the LMS has all the LMSs are typically have their nice mobile apps. which are almost like WhatsApp. So they can access these trainings from anywhere. They can play through the quizzes. They can take quizzes from anywhere, and a lot of social learning. So they can chat with each other. They can collaborate. So it's like more of a fun environment. So modern workforce को काफी मजा आता है उसमें. So it's a motivation for them, and they're learning very quickly. So I will stop it here, and I will open up for questions. So Priya, how much time we have? We have about 10 minutes. So
Yes, sir, we have time.
we can take questions. I hope I did not bore you guys. Presentations sometimes becomes very boring, but I was trying to give a lot of anecdotes, whatever I could cover. And these are all whatever examples I have covered. These are all real life examples. They happened somewhere. I did not make anything in my mind. They happened somewhere and they came to my attention. I shared. So please feel free to ask questions. I'll be very happy if you have questions or any feedback, please. Anybody? Guys, आप क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछेंगे तो मुझे बुरा लगेगा. कुछ फीडबैक दे सकते हैं? आपको प्रेजेंटेशन कैसा लगा? Okay, so I got a message. Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful session. Thank you, 𝗧𝗿𝗶𝗵. I hope I have pronounced your name correctly. So thank you. I'm glad you liked it. So just spend. I'll just spend a couple of minutes. Actually, let me just share my screen again, and while we are there, I can just show you a few more things because we have time left. And so I'm just moving to my presentation. What is Edurigo? So Edurigo is a next generation AI driven. So AI driven, fully customizable LXP that brings personalized interactive learning journeys to life, empowering organizations to build skills, drive engagement, and unlock team potential through data driven insights and gamified experiences. So we have tried to sort of put everything in one paragraph, but the red things are important here. AI driven कंटेंट, आपका कंटेंट जो है पीडीएफ को अपलोड कीजिए, कोर्स तैयार है. एक आपका पीडीएफ है उसको दीजिए, उसमें आप उसको बोलिए कि 20 क्वेश्चन का क्विज तैयार कर दीजिए, वो आपको एक ऑटोमेटिकली 20 क्वेश्चन का एमसीक्यू तैयार कर देगा. इनसाइट्स, आपको सारा डेटा अवेलेबल है, किसने कौन से क्वेश्चन को सही दिया, गलत दिया है, एंड ऑल दैट इंफॉर्मेशन इज अवेलेबल. इट इज गेमिफाइड, सो पीपल आर सॉर्ट ऑफ प्लेइंग विथ ईच अदर, दे आर ट्राइंग टू विन. सो काफी एंगेजिंग रहता है, एंड इवेंचुअली आपका स्किल डेवलप हो रहा है क्योंकि एंगेजमेंट हाई है. यहाँ पे मैंने कुछ प्रोडक्ट के फीचर्स डाले हैं. इस तरह का आपका लर्निंग होता है. ये एक तरीका है, कार्ड्स के थ्रू. एक छोटा सा कोर्स आपने कार्ड में बना दिया है, उसमें वीडियो भी चल सकता है, क्वेश्चंस भी रह सकते हैं. मैं केवल जैसे इंस्टाग्राम के रील्स देखता हूँ, वैसे बेसिकली अपने थंब से उंगली से इन कार्ड्स को सरका रहा हूँ, एंड वो कार्ड अपने आप में पढ़ भी रहा है. इट्स लाइक ऑलमोस्ट लाइक अ वीडियो, और इंटरेक्टिव. इन बिटवीन एक क्वेश्चन आ जाएगा. आपका जनरेटिव एआई, इंट्यूटिव यूआई, एक हमारा स्टूडियो है. स्टूडियो से आप कंटेंट ऑथरिंग कर सकते हैं, विच आई टॉक्ड अबाउट. टीएनए, पूरा टीएनए एआई पावर्ड है. आपसे क्वेश्चन पूछेगा सिस्टम, आपके बिजनेस चैलेंजेस क्या हैं, आपके बिजनेस गोल्स क्या हैं, और एलएमएस के पास पूरा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का डेटा है, एंड इट विल कम अप विद सजेशंस कि आपको अगले 6 महीने में ये ट्रेनिंग लॉन्च करना चाहिए जिससे ये स्किल डेवलप होगा, इससे आपका रेवेन्यू इस तरह से इंप्रूव होगा. दैट्स द टीएनए और टीएनआई, व्हाटएवर यू ट्रेनिंग नीड्स एनालिसिस. हमारी क्विजेज हैं जिनको हम क्यूरिगोज बोलते हैं. सो गेमिफाइड क्विजेज. स्टोरीगोज, जो आपको राइट साइड में स्क्रीन पे दिख रहा है, दिस इज अ स्टोरी को. आप एक स्टोरी लाइन तैयार कर सकते हैं. सो इट्स लाइक courses like a story basically. It's an article, you are just reading like one information at a time and sort of learning it. 15 मिनट में खत्म. So आपको बहुत ज्यादा बोरिंग भी नहीं रहता है. एनालिटिक्स, मोबाइल रेडी, हाईली स्केलेबल. यहाँ पे कुछ स्क्रीनशॉट्स बता रहा हूँ मैं आपको प्रोडक्ट के. आप जब एज एन एम्प्लॉय व्हेन यू लॉग इन, दिस इज हाउ द इंफॉर्मेशन लुक्स लाइक. आपका हर एम्प्लॉय को मालूम रहता है कि उनका लर्निंग एक्यूरेसी कितना है, कितने 100 क्वेश्चन में मैंने कितने क्वेश्चन सही दिए, कितने गलत दिए एट एनी पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, राइट. एंड देन उनको अपना लीडर बोर्ड दिख रहा है एंड ऑल दैट. काफी सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन है. राइट साइड में हमारा स्टूडियो है. आपने एक कोर्स क्रिएट किया है, एंड उसके बाद आप उसको कलर वलर, ये कार्ड्स वगैरह क्रिएट हो जाते हैं. ये जो कोर्स क्रिएट हुआ है ये प्रॉम्प्ट से क्रिएट हुआ है, और यू कैन अपलोड योर पीडीएफ. एंड इसका एक्यूरेसी लेवल 90% रहता है। आपको कुछ मॉडिफाई करना है आप कर लीजिए, कलर वगैरह कर दीजिए, क्वेश्चन इंसर्ट करना है उसने खुद ही ने क्वेश्चन इंसर्ट करके रखे हैं, आपको कुछ इंसर्ट करना है कर दीजिए, वेरी नाइस लुकिंग, प्रीव्यू कीजिए, लॉन्च कर दीजिए। लिटरली 10 मिनट्स में आप एक शानदार कोर्स लॉन्च कर सकते हैं, राइट। जो क्वेश्चंस हैं वो भी कोई बोरिंग क्वेश्चंस नहीं है, क्वेश्चंस जो एक्टिविटी बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस हैं। सो एक सिचुएशन दे दिया आपने, यू आर अ मैनेजर एज अ बिजी सुपरमार्केट, एकदम से भीड़ बढ़ गया, तो आप एज अ सुपरवाइजर, आपको उस स्टोर के मैनेजर, आप क्या एक्शन लेंगे? और कुछ एक्शंस उसमें से सही हैं, कुछ एक्शंस उसमें से गलत हैं, इन कार्ड्स में दी हुई हैं, आप ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप करके बताएंगे। आपको सिखा दिया गया है क्या करना चाहिए, बट ये आपको एक्सरसाइज दे दी है, एक्टिविटी दे दी है, जिससे क्या हो रहा है कि आपका सबकॉन्शियस माइंड भी लर्न कर रहा है, एंड इट इज एंगेजिंग। सो सिमुलेशन सॉर्ट ऑफ क्रिएट हो गया यहाँ पे, एक्टिविटी बेस्ड लर्निंग, राइट। एंड देन अगेन मोबाइल पे जो एक्सपीरियंस है, ये एमसीक्यू है कि यहाँ पे लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे, सो उसके 4 आंसर हैं, एंड देन मोबाइल पे वही जो सेग्रीगेशन मैंने आपको, वही क्वेश्चन मोबाइल पे ऐसा दिखता है। सो यू कैन सी इंटरफेस इज क्वाइट गेमिफाइड, सो पीपल आर एंगेजिंग। हर क्वेश्चन के बाद में आपको एक स्कोर कार्ड दिखेगा, अगर प्रिया और मैं साथ में खेल रहे हैं तो मुझे समझ में आएगा कि प्रिया मुझसे आगे है कि पीछे है। सो सॉर्ट ऑफ हम लोग एक दूसरे से कॉम्पीट कर रहे हैं। सो दिस इज गेमिफिकेशन। So, all right, with that, I now have come to the end of the presentation. I hope, there was some learning today, and then I'm still like open for questions. If there are any questions, we still have few minutes left.
Yes, Nikesh, I think 𝗦𝗁 ने एक और क्वेश्चन पूछा है।
मैंने देखा नहीं है, मैं 1 मिनट।
Yes.
How can AI powered LMS feature personalize learning experiences and ओके, ये इसमें थोड़ा सा मुझे पढ़ते नहीं बन रहा है, इसको कोई क्वेश्चन को बोल सकता है क्या? Oh, actually, no, hold on. I can read it now. How can AI-powered LMS features personalize learning experiences, and what impact does this have on the knowledge retention? So, good question. Thank you for asking this question. So one thing, as I said, key based on my skills, current gaps, based on my role, based on which team I belongs to, based on my responsibilities, based on my historical performance, ये सारी चीजों को एआई कोलेक्ट करेगा, एंड हर चीज को अपना अपना इंपॉर्टेंस देगा। एआई का एल्गोरिथम ऐसे रन करते हैं, जस्ट ट्राइंग टू टेल यू इन इंग्लिश, एंड इट विल सॉर्ट ऑफ सजेस्ट कि निकेश, आपको चूंकि आप सेल्स में हैं और आपका पिछला परफॉर्मेंस ऐसा रहा है, और आपकी टीम के जो 4 मेंबर हैं उन्होंने ये कोर्स करके ये स्किल डेवलप किया है, सो आपको भी ये स्किल डेवलप करना चाहिए। आई एम जस्ट टॉकिंग इन इंग्लिश, आई एम ट्राइंग टू रीड दैट एल्गोरिथम इन इंग्लिश। सो वो मुझे कुछ कुछ लर्निंग वैसी सजेस्ट करेगा, तो वो मेरे लिए पर्सनलाइज हो गया है। और अगर मैंने उसे बताया है, हमारे इसमें एक टूल ये भी है कि मैंने उसे बताया कि मेरे एस्पिरेशंस क्या है, मैंने सिस्टम को बताया कि मुझे भाई 2 साल में मुझे यहाँ तक जाना है, मेरी ग्रोथ मुझे ऐसी चाहिए। सो वो उस ग्रोथ को ध्यान में रखते हुए उसका भी वेटेज लेगा, और उसके बुते मुझे लर्निंग सजेस्ट करेगा। तो ये तो हो गया पर्सनलाइजेशन का। एंड नॉलेज रिटेंशन, सो नॉलेज रिटेंशन के लिए एआई ऐसा करेगा, जैसे लेट्स से मैं क्विज ले रहा हूँ, और उस क्विज में मेरा परफॉर्मेंस देखेगा वो, और जैसे जैसे मैं परफॉर्मेंस दे रहा हूँ वो मेरे क्वेश्चंस को उस हिसाब से चेंज करता जाएगा, उसको डिफिकल्ट करता जाएगा, इजी करता जाएगा। सो पहली चीज, जैसे जैसे मैं परफॉर्म कर रहा हूँ, एआई इज चेंजिंग दी ट्रैक। इमेजिन आप एक ट्रेडमिल पे रन कर रहे हो, ट्रेडमिल में आप तेज रन कर रहे हो, ट्रेडमिल के भी ठीक है, मैं थोड़ा सा इंक्लिनेशन और बढ़ा देती हूँ, जिससे कि आप थोड़ा सा और डिफिकल्ट हो जाएगा आपके लिए। सो जस्ट फॉर माई मोर बेटरमेंट, सो यू कैन डू दैट एज वेल। सो उससे आपका नॉलेज नॉलेज रिटेंशन के लिए मैं हमेशा सजेस्ट करता हूँ कि आपको हमेशा, sorry, somebody will have to go on mute. Riddhi, I think you will have to go on mute, please. So knowledge retention के लिए मैं सजेस्ट करता हूँ हमेशा कि आप एक फॉलो अप लर्निंग कीजिए। हमेशा आपने क्लासरूम ट्रेनिंग किया है, तो उससे एक माइक्रो लर्निंग बनाइए छोटा सा, जो कि सॉर्ट ऑफ रिमाइंडर हो चीजों के कॉन्सेप्ट्स का, और वो लोगों का असाइन कीजिए। उसको कहते हैं टेल एंड ऑफ लर्निंग। सो आप बार बार इंफॉर्मेशन को रिपीट कर रहे हैं। सो एक बार मैं क्लासरूम में आया, मैंने पूरा ट्रेनिंग लिया 2 घंटे का, जब मैं फील्ड पे गया, उस फील्ड पे भी मुझे मेरे मोबाइल पे वही लर्निंग के शॉर्ट फॉर्म मिल रहे हैं। सो हमारे इसमें एक फीचर है कि आप डेली एक कार्ड लोगों को भेज सकते हैं. Did you remember that? Do you remember that? Or did you know this? Kind of those things. So that is important for retention. I hope I have answered that question. Any more questions? Priya, और कोई question दिख रहा है क्या हमें?
नहीं सर.
Okay.
और तो कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं.
All right. So Priya, over to you. The way you. So once again, from my side, I'm done. Thank you so much for asking all those questions. I hope this presentation was helpful, and of course, there will be recording available. Thank you so much for everyone. Have a wonderful evening. Priya, over to you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir, thank you for this webinar, and everyone, thank you for joining this webinar.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.